This rune reading explains why you are feeling burnt out, and then of course exactly what's next. Now of course this message also kind of really reflects of where I'm at in my own energy, and really what it is that we are going through, because sometimes we are so conditioned to do everything with effort, with toxic productivity, because we are forcing ourselves to do things. Because if we don't do enough, then we don't get enough. But also it's sometimes we are in this kind of toxic productivity because we need to prove ourselves through work efforts. Or we do something that we do not really completely feel aligned with at all. So we don't come from this place of being, where the soul is really like energizing ourselves to move forward. Because what we do, we are somewhat stuck in an old kind of survival mode. A survival mode that is like stored within our unconscious beliefs and behaviors and nervous system, and how it has stored energy from our past and upbringing that is still kind of like still active nowadays. The first message that I got was from a reversed Urus. Urus is kind of like this energy symbol of masculine fire initiation and vitality. The message is also like when warriors and hunters had to initiate themselves, they would face this massive beast, Urux, which is a wild ancient ox. But reversed one, this is kind of like when we are stuck in our old ways, stuck in old patterns that has robbed us from our life force energy. Maybe you can also see it, feel it within my own energy at the moment, when we are feeling depleted within our own energy because we have been doing things for so long. Or we do it, but sometimes we feel our work is not really being received, recognized, validated, approved. Or we give a lot, but we're not receiving that what we are hoping we want to get from it, and then we are depleting ourselves in the process. So this is kind of like the energy of the reversed Urus. Then we have the energy of the Raido. Raido literally means is when the horse rider is connected with his horse venturing out into the worlds. Both literally in the outside world, the rider must travel through new kind of journeys, but it's also is the spiritual journey. And sometimes it also means is we need to redirect course. So we do not longer act from this constant pressure of efforts and toxic productivity, because if we don't do enough, we're never going to have enough. And then we deplete ourselves in the process. This is a process of realigning ourselves and do this kind of spiritual realignment within ourselves. So we are adjusting course. So that's what's really going on. Then we have the third message, which is that of Hagelas. Hagelas is the storm that is needed to destroy and destruct. Because after destruction, we begin from a clean slate. It's like the storm is raging over a farmland, destroying the crops. Once that destruction has been there, it's kind of like, in the tarot, they call it the tower. When you get the tower is falling down, is coming down. Which is a new kind of beginning for stepping into the new energy of the fourth rune. The last rune is that of Ingwas. Ingwas is kind of like the new kind of fertility. Fertility that we need for new kind of vitality. But sometimes you can also say right now is maybe not the time to act through impulsive ideas, because we feel we need to do something, otherwise we activate our survival. But sometimes it's also the time to rest for the mind, the body, the soul. So new kind of energy can form itself. for creating a new kind of fertility that is coming up for us. So for me personally, as a Pisces, I know that Pisces has been through quite some time. For myself, 2011, 2012, things really got south for me when I was having a business and I was doing 5 figures a month, and then I crashed into burnout. And the last 14 years basically has been like where I've been in a lot of shadow and darkness myself, being in patterns of codependency, mental, emotional exhaustion, not really being able to step into my creative work, moving forward. For sure I did things, but I also did a lot of things like, okay, I need to do something, otherwise, you know, I'm feeling I'm falling behind. I think for a lot of Pisces right now, we are slowly coming out of this very long kind of winter period where we have moved through a lot of mental, emotional exhaustion, where we have feeling we have only operating from 5% or less of our capacity. Or as a Pisces, we have been at the bottom of the ocean within our own darkness, within our own shadows of low emotional moods, depression, stagnation, spiritual bankruptcy. Basically, in order to meet our own shadows, is to dissolve our ego-centric behaviors of survival and fear and doubts of where we have felt unseen, unrecognized. And I feel there's not a time coming ahead, but we are not quite there yet. Maybe there's still some more things, some more weeds to filter out. And I think this is right now the time for it. The time of the winter periods. Like in the old Germanic mythologies, we also had the wild hunt. The wild hunt where Odin himself, the man of wisdom, was riding his 4-legged horse Sleipnir. Sleipnir, who was like riding through the storms during the cold winter nights to search out the souls who were ready to pass through another stage of their evolution, to weed out their shadows, their darker aspects of their inner being. For me, this is also a time where I sleep a lot. 8-9 hours is quite normal for me, but also is because I have wild, vivid dreams where I meet perhaps shadow aspects, or when I travel through other kind of realities, dimensions and things like that. Perhaps this is all kind of part of the process of our cycles, of how our soul has to move through these cycles. Anyway, despite the fact that I am still somewhat low in my energy, I still choose to share of where I'm at, because I also feel like I need a lot of time for recovery at the moment, and I don't really have a lot of energy to really push through and create a lot of content at the moment. So yeah, bear with me as I'm moving for my own recoveries at the moment, and as I continue to share where I'm at. But for sure I still have lots of ideas and visions of where I want to go, but yeah, I need time for recreating myself, is to let go of older parts of my own identity. Anyway, if you could relate to this, please let me know. Simply drop a comment below, and I see you hopefully in one of my next videos. Take care for now. Bye bye.